Destiny is an ignorant who only uses rhetoric and tricks to make the opponent look bad. When talking to Destiny, ideas don't really matter but the image. He knew practically nothing about the Manosphere, and never had a real interest in understanding what it was until the day of the debate with Rollo, where he had to get down his throat in record-time data provided by Not So Erudite. And he's a hypocrite who criticizes behaviors and values that he follows. He criticized the Manosphere for wanting to be with young women while he is married to a woman 10 years younger than him, with whom he began the relationship when she was 20, 21, and he was more or less 30, and his wife doesn't seem to be the only woman of that age that he has been with, and he criticizes the Manosphere for wanting to have a lot of casual sex while he is in an open relationship. Originally, this video was going to be about Abba, Preach, and Not So Erudite in addition to Destiny. But in the end, I decided to focus on Destiny. Well, how can I substantiate what I'm saying? Let's start at the beginning. What I'm going to do throughout this is put a clip to back up my arguments, and then I'll summarize the clip. I'm going to break down my argument into parts, so it'll be easier to explain. 1. Destiny is an ignorant who only uses rhetoric and tricks to make the opponent look bad. When talking to Destiny, the ideas do not really matter but the image. Destiny once saw a video of Tristan Tate giving dating advice. Destiny, while watching him, agreed very much with what he said. In a part of the video, Destiny uses some examples of his personal life to describe basic concepts of evolutionary psychology. The problem is that, while he described these concepts, he said explicitly that it was not evolutionary psychology. The problem is that it was. He just didn't know because he spoke from ignorance.
You're the guy, you're dressed nicely, you're looking your best, you're surrounded by women, you're on the table, you're drinking your champagne. If you think that other women in the club don't notice this, you are wrong. You need to expand your horizons. You don't just look at your table and what you have there. Look further, look deeper into the crowd. Look at the bar. Who are the two girls standing on the bar? They're looking at you. Of course.
Girls are incredible social proof for other girls. That's a hard thing to understand as a guy, because for guys, we are repelled by girls being with men. If you see a girl with a hot fucking dude, you're like, oh God, I can't live up to that guy. He's probably got like an 8-inch dick, and I could never, that pussy's ravaged like Hades, and I'm I can't do anything, right? But when girls see guys with other really hot girls, in their mind, generally, it's not gonna apply to everybody, in their mind, they think like, damn, if that guy's with that super hot chick, that dude's got his shit figured out. If that guy has 2 or 3 girls, like, that guy is he's got something working really well for him. I want to know what it is. Generally. This is super general and super vague, but like, there are girls that have looked at me differently because I'm with Melina, whereas like Melina being with a guy or someone else being with a guy, guys are going to look down on that. It's not fair. It's not okay. It is what it is. Yeah. But
you're the guy with all the girls in the club. Now,
it's not some like weird Evo psych, whatever bullshit too. What it shows is that like you're safe and you're offering something, right? It's hard to know, like, when we look at a girl, we don't generally think like she's either like a serial killer, sociopath, freak, fucking weirdo, or she's like chill, because for guys, we don't care. We just want to like fuck whatever. But for the girls, they want to know like, fuck, like even if it's a casual hookup, I've got to go through a whole vetting process with a dude. I got to figure out blah, 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 blah. But if he's with another like beautiful woman, like, women are selective. And if you're with somebody that's selective, that means you've been selected for. And if she was an amazing chick and she selected you, I could probably select you as well, right? That's like the thought process.
Destiny does not know those concepts of the Manosphere because he has never been concerned to know them. He only likes to talk confidently about things he has no idea about. For example,
talk to you. Come over with me. Come have a drink with me. Let's go. Maybe it's a yes, maybe it's...
And you had, dude, fuck. Where are these... Why don't the red pill people just copy this shit? Why do I hear so much incel dating advice from these guys? This is so true. And imagine you going over to walk. If you were to go up to 2 girls at the, if you were to go to 2 girls at the bar and talk to them, they're gonna look at you like you're a fucking loser. Or maybe they'll admire the bravado, but for the most part, you're probably. But if you go and you walk up to 2 girls at the bar and you're coming from a table with like 3 or 4 girls, well, what are they gonna do? Shoot you down? You're gonna walk back to your 3 or 4. You don't look desperate. You don't look like you're trying to like shoot your crazy fucking shot. You're coming from an environment where you already look like you've got shit going on, and you invite them back with other girls there. Like, again, damn, yeah, true.
To know, but you have to make your approaches. It doesn't matter what.
Which red pills are you talking about? I guess most people I listen to are fresh and fit, but almost every single red pill channel that I've heard review my content, that I've heard review different shit, all of the advice they give about like getting girls and dating, it's just cringe. They sound like they don't fuck. I'm not trying to use it as an insult, okay? I fuck a decent amount, okay? And these guys all sound like virgins with the types of advice they give, and they sound like they don't know anything about relationships either with the types of relationship advice they give. These guys sound like they know their shit really well. Like they run insane fucking game wherever the fuck they go. And every single comment they've made is like, this is a guy that knows how women's brains work, that knows like what makes women like it. That's what it feels like. And the other guys feel like they're repeating PUA talking points that they heard from 2014 and have found a way to make sound more misogynistic. Like that's what it sounds like. Like when I listen to these guys talk, they sound like these guys have lived this environment. These guys seem like they fucking lay a ton of pipe. And the other guys sound like they read some shit when they were in 2014, 2015, and they like made it more hateful, and they've like digested this, and now they spit it back out into some like cringy fucking incel shit for like the new men of like 2022. I just don't understand how these guys were all inspired by like the Tates. I don't know how that advice was so fucking bad, but everything these guys say is like fucking on point for if you want to be an advanced fuckboy, basically. Yeah.
Apparently, Destiny was just a victim of YouTube's algorithm, which only spreads the most inflammatory content and the content that causes more reactions. I find it hard to believe that he researched the Manosphere without realizing that, in fact, these topics have been addressed in different ways several times and by several people.
I know a lot of very successful men, let's say. You know, when you're talking 6'6", 6 figures, 6 foot, the whole thing, double that, triple that. I mean, I'm talking very, very, very successful guys who are married. Okay, not many of their wives who are living amazing lives are allowing any of that cheating
So you
stuff.
just said allow. You just said the word allow.
You notice that I didn't say that they don't do that. I'm just saying they don't allow that.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want that. Like I keep saying, you know, women don't want a man to cheat, but they love a man who could cheat. No woman wants to be with a guy that no other woman wants or no other man wants to be. Okay. The problem with this, and I heard you bring this up on one show. The problem with this is that the things that make a guy alpha and make him attractive and arousing and like fun and really want to rock his world kind of thing, those things are exactly the things that are counter to her being able to lock him down in security. So there's the balance right there. That's why it's what you're going to have John from Model Life Dating on here pretty soon. It's what we call the extra scoop of rice. Okay. And what that is once a woman gets with the guy that she is clearly high value, she'll find ways to mate guard him. And usually that's the extra scoop of rice, which is fatten this guy up a little bit.
You just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Seen it with my own eyes.
It's funny because even promoters nowadays use that same tactic. So for example, they've been in the club, right? Bring multiple girls. Guess what? There's a saying that says BYOG, right? Sorry, BYOB. Bring your own bottle to the club, right? That's kind of like a saying sometimes that people use. But I say BYOG. Bring your own girls, because when you bring your own girls, you get more girls. So for example, let's say I'm in the club, I have a table, I'm a promoter, right? If I'm with 2 dudes, who's coming to my table? Nobody. But I have 5 girls at my table, guess what? Oh wow, other girls are there? What's going on? Who are these people? And what happens is when they see other girls there as an option, you know what? I'm gonna hover around and see if I can get a part of the table too. And then let's say I add in a celebrity. Oh Lord, now somebody is popping.
Pre-selection.
I want to see who's that? Who's that? And it was funny. They might not even know who it is. But just the fact that he has girls around him, they want to find out who it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I'll tell you, I got invited this past week to judge the Playboy bikini contest with Michael Sartain. In fact, I did his podcast. So, yeah, it was hard. It was hard work. Big shout.
He want to come on the show.
Big shout out to Michael. Yeah, bring him on, bro.
I'm actually going to go down.
He's absolutely an incredible dude. But the point I'm trying to make is he's good friends with Dan Barzarian, and we talked about that. And what I was able to see at that event was it seemed like the prettier the girls that were around Michael, the more pretty girls came around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it was almost like this compounding interest.
Cheat code.
Yeah. Where it's like if you really want to get beautiful women, use beautiful women as bait, and he has absolutely mastered it.
And the thing with Dan Bilzerian, like that people don't get, is that he's smart enough to know that the more girls I have around me, the less work I have to do in the long run.
Absolutely.
Because he even talked about this before, I think in his book or whatever. And shout out to him for understanding intersexual dynamics and knowing that social proof is pretty much one of the strongest components when it comes to being attracted to the opposite gender. The more girls he had, the less work he had to put in. He has said he used to play a game where it's like, okay, I want to smash a girl without saying a word to her. And he was able to do it with a model because he had other girls with him. So, Hugh Hefner did this, obviously, Dan Missouri does this. You look at any guy that's like a playboy, that's like dealing with very, very attractive women, a big component to their game is social proof. It's required when you deal with a certain echelon of women, especially models or women that monetize their beauty. It just comes with the territory.
I think it's already evident that Destiny leaves a lot to be desired in terms of its knowledge of the Manosphere. But that's probably not something that he or his fans are worried about, since the most important thing for them is to make each other look bad. Even his fans know that he doesn't usually really investigate some topic before discussing it, but is spontaneous.
Did the data-driven argument feel more productive than the spontaneous ones? Yeah, a little bit. I actually really enjoyed this. I enjoyed this conversation. Even though I kind of crammed hard for this in like a day and a half, doing prepared research for a debate, to jump in and do it is something I miss doing. It's fun.
2. Destiny practically knew nothing about the Manosphere and never had a real interest in understanding what it was.
Podcast, so oh boy.
Have you read his book?
No.
You're not going to prepare for the thing by reading his book at all?
I mean, like, I've listened to him talk enough, and hopefully I'm not going to have a Bosch moment here, but then also, like, we had that conversation. Not to sound mean, but he doesn't seem like a very bright guy. Like, I'm not that worried, but...
Apparently his book is really insightful and good. You're not even going to give it a shot, or at least one of them?
The problem is if it is insightful or good, it's probably because it contains a bunch of really basic shit that, like, we're going to agree with, but that, like, it's not worth, like, pointing out. Like, if it's going to be some shit like, women are generally more attractive in their youth and men gain value as they age, like, to some extent, of course, I'm going to agree with that, right?
Right.
My issues are going to be with the more insanely stupid shit that he says.
Basically, for you, you're basically saying, like, it's not worth the research because, like, the odds of it being relevant to the discussion or there being anything of value to add is, like, not very high, so you're not going to bother wasting the time.
Yeah.
3. Until the day of the debate with Rollo Tomasi, where he had to get down his throat in record time data provided by Not So Erudite. Having said that, one of the reasons why I think what Destiny basically did was to take prefabricated research and arguments from Not So Erudite is that in the debate with Rollo he uses one of Not So Erudite's arguments, which is that all of Rollo's work is based on one main concept.
But I think both of them exist, whether or not it's 85-15 or 50-50, I'm not really sure.
Okay, this is going to be a really important center point for this discussion because in my opinion, almost all of Rollo's praxology is going to be built off of this alpha fucks, beta bucks idea, that a ton of stuff, hypergamy is built off of it, the way the relationships work are built off of it, you know, what men and women are after, the dual sexual strategy. So you guys are not in congruence with how you feel on that? You disagree?
The problem with this is that how can he know that by his own research if we have already made it clear previously that Destiny didn't know practically anything about the Manosphere and did not have a real interest in learning? So, if he changed his mind, does it mean that he read Rollo's work in a day and a half, as he said earlier? I mean, read at least one of the 4 or 5 books available, consult the sources and compare it to his sources, etc. I don't know about you, but that sounds impossible to me. 4. Besides that, he is a hypocrite who criticizes behaviors and values that he himself follows. He is only blue pill in words, but as far as his actions are concerned, the red pill would be proud of him. Criticize the Manosphere for wanting to be with young women while he is married to a woman 10 years younger than him, with whom he began the relationship when she was 20, 21, and he was about 30.
Patient, go ahead.
Hey, my name is Stephen Bunnell, 34 years old. People know me online and on Instagram as Destiny.
Okay, welcome.
I'm Melina, known as Melina on social media as well, Melina Jorensen. I do Twitch, I'm 24, and I'm married to this. My wife, Destiny. Here.
Yeah, your wife.
Your wife, Destiny.
And the funny thing is that every time someone brings up that subject, he says he didn't marry her or that he wasn't attracted to her because of her age, and maybe he didn't marry her just because she's young and beautiful. But definitively that was the reason why he approached her in the first place, and not because of some philosophical garbage, he says. I would like to open a parenthesis here. When I say that Destiny did not approach Melina because of her soul or her character, it is an example, since I'm aware that according to the videos that circulate on the internet, Destiny met Melina through another person who was Melina's partner at the time, and this person invited Destiny into his home. That is when he met Melina, and Melina left her partner to be with Destiny. This is even worse for Destiny when it comes to arguing against the red pill community, as this exhibits on Melina's part what is known as hypergamy. This further contributes to what Michael Sartain and Rollo Tomasi say about Destiny.
To do what he needs to do. The biggest argument against Destiny's position is Destiny. Do you guys see it? Right. The biggest piece of evidence against Destiny's position is literally his own existence. That's the problem, right? So, like, he even says, yes, because I got more famous. Like, I would say that if Destiny were a plumber, he probably wouldn't be dating a Swedish model that looks
Not
like
a
the
chance.
one that he has.
Close parentheses. Also, if his wife is this exception to the rule, why he has been with Lovelune, who is also around Melina's age? That also makes me ask two things. What would be the age of Anavoir, the girl that Destiny was with a while ago, the girl who had a mental breakdown in streaming? And why does Destiny have this tendency to surround himself with noticeably young and unstable women?
Understood me.
Yeah, you guys need to have an offline call
I just
for
want
real.
to fucking die.
Why don't you guys have an offline call right now, Stephen? Why don't you call her? Anna,
Why
why?
does he lie? I'm telling the truth. Please.
Okay, Anna. Yeah, we believe you, Anna. It's just relax.
Nobody doesn't believe me.
Have you figured it out? Like, it seems like a
I
complicated
feel
dance.
like we figure out things more and more, like when it comes to like what's a good person for us to hang out and what's not a good person for us to hang out with, or like I probably have more opinions on like who he hangs out with because he likes the fucking psychos.
Yeah, so you like to surround.
He likes the not like the crazy ones, like the baby trap sort of women. That's
Yeah.
the ones, and
So
I
the
don't like
crazier-
that because that affects me.
That affects your game theoretic
Yeah,
calculation.
obviously, yeah.
Right. You like to surround yourself, like in general, you've talked about with crazy people.
I say crazy, and I really shouldn't.
It's a
just
humorous way.
It's like, yeah,
They're
it's
very unstable.
can be unstable,
Yeah.
but people that are very unique. Like when I meet this person, that's like
Not boring.
Yeah, not boring. Yeah.
And you said that you're progressively becoming not boring yourself.
No, I think I'm pretty stable. I don't let them affect me much, but
So you don't think they affect your...
no. If I've said that, I've said it jokingly. I think I've got my stuff like really well figured out. It's what allows me to engage with people like this so easily because I can engage, I can make them feel seen and heard, and then if it gets insane, I can cut off and I can be chill. Like very few things affect me in the long term.
I do not know if you have noticed, but does not look familiar the girl next to Melina on whatever podcast.
And I'm Erin, aka Straighterade on all platforms. I'm 24 and I'm looking to do live streaming.
All right. What about you?
Hi, I'm Pixie, Pxie. I currently stream, and yeah, you can find me on Twitter or Twitch.
Age?
Oh, 24.
Oh, wow.
When I saw her on the podcast, I was not sure if I was just confusing her, but my alarms went off louder when she looked at Destiny as she was kicked off the show, and I started researching.
Opportunity. So kindly, I'm asking you to leave.
Yeah.
You're.
question for
You played the
Steven.
sound effect. There's no. You gotta go.
Hold on.
Steven, would you
Aaron,
let
you
her
should
in
go.
your polycule?
Aaron, you should go.
I'm not answering questions.
Yeah, you should
go.
just leave.
Please leave.
Can
Thank
you
you.
leave? I don't know if your friend wants to come with you, but
I will leave
can-
you guys to ask the very important questions about Stephen and Melina's relationship and diving more into
That's
that,
lovely.
right?
Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye bye. We love you.
Peace out.
Quickly.
Peace out. You too.
Quickly.
I do not know if she has appeared before, but I think her first appearance in the Destiny's Circle was in this video.
My name is Erin, and I am here to debate if wokeness has gone too far or not.
Okay, my earlier undefeated conversation topic was that
That is where they met. And now, they are friends. Maybe it's just a friendship, or maybe it is another case of the sexual advantages of having status. I do not understand how on one hand people worship someone like Destiny, but despise someone like Myron or Andrew Tate, when they are more similar than Destiny will ever admit. They all use their status to meet potential young and beautiful sexual partners. And there's nothing wrong with that. But why criticize a group that aspires to do or currently does what he's doing? People despise one and praise the other when the latter does the same as all the rich with status. Use their position to optimize their sexual strategy, have lots of casual sex, and switch their side piece every few months when things go wrong while having a main partner just like the red pill.
What about like emotional?
It's really complicated. There's a lot of complicated stuff going on under the hood there.
Yeah.
I think broadly speaking, you've got like polyamorous relationships and you've got like open relationships where polyamorous is like, oh, I've got like 3 different girlfriends and we all hang out or sometimes even live together, or 3 boyfriends, whatever. And then you've got like open relationships, which is like, oh, like you can basically hook up with other people. And then you've got like your main relationship and that's it. I think ours is probably somewhere in the middle, of that, to where like we've got like long-term friends. Some of them we hook up with. And that's kind of how it's a delicate dance that explodes every 6 months on itself.
So it does explode. You guys fight over it?
We fight over some things, yeah.
I think it's mostly because a lot of people can't handle it, and they agree to something, and then they realize that we're way too cool, and then they get really obsessed, and they think that they can like get in there, and then it gets really dramatic.
I feel like I know Destiny well enough to understand his social and sexual habits. In our direct messages, he's called me buddy, pal, partner, princess, love. He sent me heart emojis and is overall just a friendly and kind of flirtatious guy. I don't think he wants to bang me, and I don't think that he wants me to bang him. I think this is a pattern of speech for how he communicates, because he wants to be nice, number one, and number two, if someone flirts back, that might be a sign that they want to have a physical relationship with him. The platonic people can be playful, but remain platonic. The people who are interested sexually can proposition him since he is open with his sexuality. I like Destiny. I still like Destiny. If he, or DGG, isn't a big fan of mine right now, I completely understand. I still consider him a friendly professional peer and a friendly acquaintance. If I were his friend, though, if he were to DM me and say, Connor, you and I are friends now. Talk to me like a friend. I would say, stop having casual hookups. You cannot know someone well enough to know if they're mentally, socially, or spiritually sound in a short period of time. I would say, stop hooking up with mentally ill women unless you're ready for them to blow up your life. I would say, your content, lost my place, and I'm not editing because fuck you, that's why. I would say, your content is attracting mentally ill people to you and then destroying them rhetorically for a crowd. It's fun, I like it, it's good memes, but you are going to continue to pay dire social consequences for as long as you have the eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth moral system. I would also say that you are addicted to being in the moment, being in combat, and being in a fight or flight scenario. So you seek out these combative scenarios, and this is likely related to a spiritual void in your life you should seriously consider. Maybe don't go after a personal god, but go on another mushroom trip and see what the spirits have to tell you.
If you have some comment, you are free to express it in the comments section. But please, do as much as you can to not be some parasocial psycho.